Welcome back to my Transformers animated episode reviews. Today we're taking a look at the Season 3 episode, Three's a Crowd. Not to be confused with the Three's Company sequel series. In this episode, a new Constructicon is added to the crew in the form of Dirt Boss. This episode begins with Sumdac and Bulkhead talking space bridges. How cute. When trying to move some heavy equipment, the floor falls through. Luckily, Bulkhead is able to save Sumdac from plummeting through his own tower too. Bulkhead decides to recruit Mixmaster and Scrapper to help him with the repairs. And I like how Bulkhead is more assertive with the Constructicons in this episode, rather than letting them boss him around, like when they first met. It shows some character development on Bulkhead's part. He even tries to get them to join the Autobots, which is nice. While trying to recover the forklift from the hole, Scrapper's line gets stuck. Hey, I can't show that on YouTube. Come on guys, what are you thinking? This is a kid's show. Put that away. So the Allspark fragment, forklift, and the Headmaster unit somehow get fused into the new Constructicon, Dirt Boss, which somehow already has red eyes and a Decepticon logo, even though when the other two Constructicons first came online, they had yellow eyes and no faction symbols. Dirt Boss is really annoying, because of course he is. He's part Headmaster.
You got a problem? You got a problem? Oh! You got a problem?
He also has this Cerebro Shell ability like Bombshell from G1, which lets him puppet other bots. So Dirt Boss's whole scheme is that he wants to steal the city's oil supply. Cut to a double tractor trailer with the Dinobot sludge on the side of it. Aww, it's kind of cute. And this truck is being driven by Sparkplug, although he has a different job and a different voice actor from the last time we saw him. So the Constructicons steal the oil and leave Bulkhead stuck behind. We then get the classic spinning newspaper trope, although this is all the same night, so who's printing newspapers in the middle of the night? Also, this is the Detroit Powell Press, so Powell owns his own newspaper? Also, the newspaper appears before the Constructicons actually steal the oil from the gas station. Well, I guess that means technically they were stealing gas, not oil, right? But the point is, does that mean that the newspaper is showing the future? What is this, Back to the Future Part 2? We then get a second and a third newspaper. Is Powell printing all these himself? Perhaps in an attempt to besmirch the Autobots in some way? Again, Bulkhead tries to stop the Constructicons, but fails. And kind of like the characters in yesterday's Rescue Bots episode review, Bulkhead and Mixmaster are stuck together. We then jump to the fossil fuel oil refinery, which, like the truck and gas station, has Dinobot sludge as its logo. Aww, cute. But I kind of wish he was actually in the show with the other Dinobots. Meanwhile, the Autobots have captured Lugnut, but they are having trouble getting him out of the pit that he made with his poke. I will say this, Dirt Boss is surprisingly agile for his appearance. The other Autobots finally arrive.
Are you Samuel James Witwicky, descendant of Archibald Witwicky?
Yeah?
My name is Optimus Prime. We are autonomous robotic organisms from the planet Cybertron.
They rescue Bulkhead from Dirt Boss's control, and Bulkhead frees himself from Mixmaster by lubing up his wrecking ball. Although, now Scrapper's fist is stuck in Mixmaster's hole? There's gotta be a better way to phrase that.
I so don't have time for this.
I feel the same way about this episode, Optimus. Dirt Boss maneuvers the other Constructicons and himself on top of the tank, which is surrounded by fire and about to blow. Seriously, what is this guy thinking? So Bulkhead uses the space bridge component that Sumdac built to teleport them just off the coast of Dinobot Island. The tank explodes, and the Constructicons are never seen again. That is, except for Scrapper. But we'll talk about him in a future episode. The Autobots return to where they left Lugnut, but he is gone. Apparently rescued by the Starscream clone, Ramjet.
You promised me you will never speak of this to Megatron.
Oh, I promise.
Get it? Because he's the liar. This is probably the best part of this episode. Not just because it's actually funny, but because this is the end of this awful episode. Yes, it seems like I remembered correctly. This episode is pretty bad. There's a lot in here that doesn't make any logical sense. There is some good stuff, basically anything not involving the Constructicons. But I especially dislike Dirt Boss. He is just so grating. It must be the headmaster part of him or something. Thankfully, this is his one and only appearance in the cartoon. Although, speaking of which, perhaps if Animated had gotten a season 4, apparently Dirt Boss would have gotten the Constructicons to work on a project called Devastator, as described in the Allspark Almanac. So we did miss out on an animated Devastator, although considering that I'm already not too fond of 2 out of the 3 Constructicons we already have, maybe it was a blessing that we didn't have to suffer through any more of them. Well, what about you? What did you think of this episode of Transformers Animated? As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and do all that other fun stuff. And I'll see you here next week for the next episode of Transformers Animated, Where is Thy Sting? So, see you here next week for that.